right, let's do this. Here we go. The Boo Birds away for just a second here. Season still alive for your 76ers. The campaign game, folks. That's what we witnessed this evening. Campaign, thank you very much. One hell of an evening by Mr. Payne. 139-129 was your final score. Campaign goes for 32. Career high. And it was needed. Every one of those points were needed. That's for damn sure. It is Sixers wrap-up show. Powered by 97.5 The Fanatic. I'm Sean Brace. Middle of the program, you got Sam Ostry from The Score and Sean Bernard representing Crossing Broad and DK and Network. Great to see you, boys. And look, I know we're having some fun here, just, yucking it up. But it really is the truth. Like, they had to win this game. And, of course, we're going to get into all the news that took place before the game and, of course, Maxey, all that. But if they didn't win this game as 2.5-point favorites, I look at the schedule, tell me what game they were going to win, albeit whenever Joel comes back. Of course, 10 games left. Paul George, a little easier, and Maxey's going to be out for the next 3 weeks. So just a monster victory and one that was really needed at this point in time. Sean Bernard, I'll come to you first.
Yeah, nothing says a must-win game like facing the 23-40 Memphis Grizzlies without your three best players. But you're right, Brace, that they absolutely needed this victory to have any sort of pulse for the remainder of the season. Shout out to Campaign, man, and I know we'll dive into it, but they needed some sort of spark. And one of the things that I've said to both of you guys about this is it feels like the bottom of this roster lacks that X-factor ability, that any given night they can take over a game or play above what their head is, what their contract is right there. Campaign did that tonight, man, and it was directly related to the Sixers getting wins. So they needed this one. They got this one, and it was nice to see a little bit of spirit, a little bit of fight, and a little bit of good basketball that we got to consume tonight.
Sam Ostry, again, just a big-time game for the Sixers, and I'll tell you what, I won't lie, I was a little nervous at halftime, the fact that the score was, I think, it was ridiculous. It was something like they gave up 70 points, close to it, as I'm trying to find the box score here. It was ugly.
68.
Yeah, they gave up 68 points to that Memphis Grizzlies team in the first half. I was not feeling good by no means. But as I said, they come away with the victory. Campaign 32 sparked the 76ers. Great to see VJ Edgecombe back out on the floor, though, as well. VJ had a big fourth quarter. He finished with 21 points, really made his presence felt all game long, but more importantly in that fourth quarter stretch.
Campaign legacy game. They say legends are born in March, and we're in March, and then Campaign might have cemented his legacy. No, I mean, in all seriousness, it was one of these games where we talked about it yesterday. You had to win based on how the season's going to end and what it's going to come down to, which is you're going to be in a really tight race to maybe miss the playoffs or avoid the play. And we'll see. I mean, I don't think they're going to be that low, but to avoid the play at the very least for decent play in position, because you'd obviously rather be in that 7-8 matchup than that 9-10 matchup. It's going to come down to these final few games. We said that yesterday when we didn't know the prognosis of Tyrese Maxey and how long he was going to be out for. Now every game is super important, but you have to beat the really bad teams, which is what the Grizzlies are. Teams trying to lose and tanking for draft position, which again is what the Grizzlies are doing. So this was a game they had to win, and it looked ugly until the fourth quarter. They really blew it out in the fourth quarter. It also felt like, when do the Sixers have a game like this? Just like a feel-good game. Everybody's out of the lineup. You don't have a Campaign. Can't miss a shot. Kelly Oubre's playing well. Quentin Grimes playing well. Dominic Barlow was really good tonight. They never have a feel-good, fun game for a bunch of reserve guys. Even if it was against a terrible team, it was the building was live. It was electric. It just felt like, all right, this was some good vibes for a Sixers team that has just had terrible vibes for the better part of 2 months now.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to let you get away with the building, though, because from what I heard,
you saw the broadcast. It was live.
There was a lot of crazy. There was a lot of empty seats, according to Bob Cooney. He said something along the lines on the timeline. Again, you're right, though. Like being the Sixer fan, just getting slapped in the face with the Maxey news before the game even starts. He's going to be out for the next 3 weeks, if not more. And it's just so frustrating because, essentially everything has just crashed and burned since Paul George got suspended. Paul George gets suspended, trade deadline takes place, McCain out, you're dealing with all that nonsense. Of course, JoJo dealing with the knee, the shin, his back, his ankle, his head, his face, Bell's everything but Bell's palsy this time around. And then, of course, Maxey hurting himself. So, yeah, I'm not going to poo-poo it. Sixer fans, we're tuned in, we're watching, and we want to see a game where they're able to come away with the victory, and they did exactly that. But, like you said, with Cam Payne, that was really the cool thing about his game tonight. Did he miss he ended up going 8 for 8 from downtown. Did not miss a 3-point shot. Incredible game by him.
The first player in franchise history to finish a game with at least 8 made threes and 0 misses from deep. Shout out Cam Payne. It etched his name in Sixers history tonight.
What the hell happened?
These were dribble jumpers. Like these were coming off the dribble.
Sick.
He was pulling up from deep. He just could not miss. And he's one of the uglier jump shots in the league, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was unconscious. Yeah, the basket was an ocean, right? Like he could not miss. A lot like Bam is doing. We're going to talk a little bit about Bam Adebayo and what's happening there. We're on 70. He's got 70?
Correct.
Wow.
He had 31 at the end of the first?
Yep. Same guy.
12 minutes.
Yeah, they still got time left in that game.
That's a
blowout, though. He's not out of the game yet. They're up 30.
He's got 7 points in 35 minutes is what I'm seeing right now.
He's coming for Wilt's record. That's what's happening. And we'll get this one on video. Put some respect on Cam Payne's name. Yeah, what the hell got into Cam Payne?
He's hungry, man. Like, I think that's been a sort of a takeaway. Like, again, when I'm talking about the lack of X factors with this team, Cam Payne is everything about that. That Cam Payne is in the self-confidence Hall of Fame, fellas. That there is no one that looks in themselves in the mirror and believes in themselves at the rate that Cam Payne does. And I love that he got the chance to put it on display tonight. He was feeling it early, and he just kept taking those chances. Even like closing without VJ down the stretch, which I'm still a little bit confused about why that was the case, because I think he played pretty well overall, except for some foul issues there late in the matchup. But Cam was the guy that was like calling the shots. I want the ball. He is a legitimate on-ball creator. He's a legitimate NBA talent, and he's been itching to get this kind of opportunity after basically wasting away overseas for the first part of the season. So he got his opportunity. He made the most of it, and the Sixers team certainly thanks him for it.
I remember both times that these guys played so far. Again, tonight was a little easier down the stretch as they extended the lead, but the first time they played was the 3-point buzzer beater by VJ.
Yeah,
I think that was 139-136. So a lot of points between these two teams. Also, don't lose this in the shuffle, Sam. He had 10 assists. Cam Payne went off this evening.
That first game, Ja Morant and Joel Embiid both played in, so that feels like a lifetime ago.
Wow.
Forget those guys even exist sometimes still. But with Cam Payne, they needed every single one of those threes. 8 for 8 from 3. The rest of the Sixers shot 13% from 3. So everybody else was terrible shooting the ball from deep, including Kelly Oubre, who I thought had a good game as a creator and as a driver, but he was 1 for 9 from 3. So they needed every single one of those threes. And people call him the Energizer Bunny. And it's like, that's what the Sixers needed. They needed someone to kind of just wake them up on a back-to-back. And again, we're saying the word must win, which is crazy in early March. But in a lot of ways, these games are must win. We're going to come down to it at the end of the year and look at the standings. So in a must win game, you need that Energizer Bunny. And that's what he was. And he was great in that role.
Yeah, just so you know, if the playoffs started today, they'd be taking on the Miami Heat in the playing game. So I don't know how we feel about that one. Again, don't know how you feel about anything unless we know who's playing, who's healthy, and who's not. Right. So at this point in time, you can't have any sympathy because, as I pointed out, there's a lot of tough games coming up on this schedule, including the next one up against the Detroit Pistons, man. And that game is in Detroit. They hit the road, I believe. Of course, they got the Nuggets next week. Just a tough stretch of games for the Sixers here. Hopefully they can get the big man back. We'll get updated on all of that. What else from tonight's game grabbed your attention, though, Sean Bernard? You were joking with us. You had 3 pages of notes. I want to hear it.
Yeah, I will shout out Kelly Oubre Jr. for the first career game of his, which he had 30-plus points and 10-plus rebounds there, finished with 31 and 12. And in a little bit different way that he goes about it, but I also think the energy description Fitz Oubre right there, that I thought he brought it and really has for the bulk of the season. That I understand Kelly Oubre Jr. is a guy that gets a lot of slack with this fan base. And I also understand he's not the perfect basketball player, that I wish he was a better shooter. He shot 1 for 9 from 3 today. But the thing that I do respect about Kelly is he just brings it every single night, man. He gives you everything he's got. He competes on both ends of the floor. And I don't think they win this game without Oubre. Led the team with 31 points. Thought he was just fine defensively. 10 of 24 overall. He had 2 steals and a block as well. Also want to shout out, coming out off the bench, Trendon Watford with a little bit of a return to promise right here, that he was a guy that kind of played himself out of the rotation. I think Watford has given him some relatively solid minutes and has shown a little bit of toughness right there. So got to shout out those guys. And once again, just nice to see VJ Edge come back on the floor, man. This wasn't a matchup or a game that we'll have in the VJ Edgecombe Hall of Fame, or one that will really cling to him as far as a signature performance right there. But he still had 21 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 steals tonight, shot 7 of 15 from the field. The team brought energy in the way that I needed to see tonight. There's still a lot of big picture conversations to have, but they gave me everything that I could have hoped for in a matchup like this.
I think 17 games following this one. I misspoke. The 76ers have Detroit on Thursday, then 2 straight at home. I thought they hit the road for the Brooklyn game. They did not. They do not. So they have Brooklyn on Saturday at 1 p.m., then Portland at home at 6 p.m. on Sunday, and then they hit the road for Denver on Tuesday. So 3 out of the 4 games are tough matchups. Portland can play really well at home. We'll see what they look like on the road in Philly, especially in that time spot on Sunday evening. 6 o'clock would be 3 o'clock their time. Brooklyn, you better find a way to win that game, although they did just beat the Grizzlies last night. And the Nuggets, man, the Nuggets are as good as anybody on any given night. We saw that last night when they went toe-to-toe with the Oklahoma City Thunder. So plenty of games to be played. Again, who the hell knows who'll be suiting up? Sam Ostry, what else from tonight's game besides Oubre and Payne stood out?
By the way, I'll get to that in a second, but they're fully leaving Bam Adebayo in this game right now, and he is 74 with 5 minutes to go, and they want him to beat Kobe's mark of 81.
81.
Which would be, if you gave me, since the day I was born, if you gave me 1,000 guesses a year of who would be the guy to reach Kobe's 81 mark, it would never in a million years have been Bam Adebayo. But that might happen in the next 5 minutes here, which would be absolutely.
Can we pause? Can we pause? What's the box score? What's he shooting? What do we got?
74 points, 19 for 38 from the field, 7 for 18 from 3, 29 for 36 from the free throw line. He shot 36 free throws.
He shot 18
and they're up 30,
three-pointers?
by the way. They're up 30. They're leaving him in this game to get Kobe's 81, which
As they should.
Yeah, why not? I mean, who cares? It's the Wizards.
But back to the Sixers. I mean, I was impressed with Kelly Oubre too because of how great of a driver and a creator he was. And he shot 1 for 9 from 3, but he's actually having his best 3-point shooting season of his career. It's just the looks, what the looks that he gets on a night like tonight when he's not playing with Embiid and Maxey and Paul George and some of these other guys are so much worse. And they're just way more contested threes, so he's not going to make as much. Dominic Barlow, I thought, played a really good game. Only 11 points and 6 rebounds. I thought as a roller and as a screener, he was really good. He had some nice putbacks. I thought he created a lot just with his movement and a lot of timely buckets too, when maybe the Grizzlies were making a little bit of a run and he had to halt it. So I thought Dominic Barlow played really well. Quentin Grimes had 22, VJ Edgecombe 21, Trent Watford I thought was really good. Only played 15 minutes, but 11 points, 15 minutes, 2 assists. And passing is really his best skill. Sometimes you watch him and you're like, where's the scoring? Where's the driving? But we talked about this last night. He's a pass-first player, but he's a really good passer. So it was one of those games where you needed everybody to step up. And it feels like almost everybody did.
Yeah, you're right about that. A stat that stood out to me here, 13-5 in the steal category. The Sixers forced 20 turnovers total off of the Memphis Grizzlies, so making it happen on the defensive side of the ball. And look, I'm not here to poo-poo anything, right? Like they found a way to win a game, and they needed to. And against a team that is trying to lose games, but that effort tonight didn't show me that from the Memphis Grizzlies perspective. That was a team that looked like they wanted to come in and win the game there, but again, we don't know how that plays out in the final couple minutes of the game, but all in all, I think the Grizzlies gave it their all. Again, a lot like the 76ers are dealing with, a ton of injuries and a lot of nobodies out there. You're scratching your head going, who the hell are half these guys? I'm sure that you guys know them because you guys are NBA holes. But for me, I'm looking at, Taylor Hendricks and Oliver Maxine Prosper. And I'm looking at all these guys. Now, Ty Jerome is the guy that I know. And then he ended up getting thrown out of the game. I missed that. I turned the television on late. What the hell happened in that fourth quarter? He got thrown out.
He was done. He was ready to be out of that game was more or less my take. I will say that, like, on live, I thought he bumped the female referee there. He did not declare his name with it, but he basically got the technical for arguing, in which something was like a fringe call right there, and then just carried it on as Grimes is shooting the free throw, and then immediately gets ejected for the technical. So Grimes is shooting the technical free throw, and Jerome's basically just standing right at the 3-point line, still giving it to the ref under the basket, and he finally had enough of it.
All right, comments coming in. Pretty good night in Philly. Sixers and Eagles buzz. Yeah, Phillies Bucks checking in. Yeah, we'll talk a little bit. We'll squeeze a little birds in at the end, as we often do. Have some fun on the way out. Keep the comments coming. Cousin Nikki checking in. My favorite Sixers game of the season. Yeah.
Honestly, me too. Like, me too. It's fun when you have a bunch of unheralded guys who aren't the stars and just go out and compete and give one of their best efforts of the season and find a way to win in a big game for them. It's way more fun when you have that versus Maxey and VJ Edgecombe and these guys struggling to beat a middling team.
All right.
And I think
maybe Kate wasn't a little over the top then, I guess.
But I think Sam and I hit on this a little bit with pace and space earlier. It isn't just that they're losing, man. It's been the way that they're losing that is so demoralizing, so frustrating like that. If you give me nights like tonight where I feel completely solidified that they gave all out effort, they brought you everything that you got, and obviously they got the result tonight, but it's not going to be that case every day. If they're coming up like short games where they give an honest effort and give you everything, I can live with this season. That just is sort of not the tone that I've felt about for the past 2-3 months of this year. And it's a super disappointing fall off, and that being the direct goal of this standard that Tyrese Maxey talked about and everything else. So I think that's kind of the takeaway. It was nice to see one go in the win column with that specific sort of mindset tonight.
It's funny. Philly Bucks 311 just checking and scared the bejesus out of me. Tomorrow is my anniversary. Thank you for that. 311. 311. See? 311.
Wait, you didn't realize it was your anniversary until just now?
Dude, March is such a kick in the groin for me. I got March 1 is my daughter's birthday, and it's not just like a birthday. You got the party, you got the whole spiel, the whole nine. March 5th is my wife's birthday, and then March 11th is our anniversary. So it's just there's a lot of chaos that comes my way the first couple of days.
And it's March Madness priorities over your wife's.
My mind, dude. I'm watching Gonzaga and Santa Clara. Like, come on, I got Maxey out for the next 3 weeks.
She'll understand. Just forget it tomorrow. She'll understand.
Well, no, no. I'm telling her I'm going to go out with beef. Everything's going to be all right. By the way, Beef did hit me up to go to the rooftop deck, and I said, "Got a post game show, boys. Can't miss
Appreciate
that." Professional Sean over here.
That's right.
All right, let's talk about some of the issues that we found out before the game, if we could, real quick. Sean, give us the latest on what's going on with Maxey. Of course, we know he's going to be out for an extended period of time. Is he done for the season?
Yeah, so the official announcement that was made, and to get the exact when this was dropped, was at 6:33, so 27 minutes before game time, from Shams Charania saying, Philadelphia 76ers star Tyrese Maxey has been diagnosed with a tendon injury in his right pinky finger and will be reevaluated in 3 weeks, sources tell ESPN. Maxey received additional images and specialist reviews after injuring his right hand Saturday in Atlanta. Now, what we've known to this point is we obviously saw Tyrese pinky finger at the very tail end of that Hawks loss right there, a basketball play where him and Adem Bona ran into each other. And I will say my immediate reaction when watching that was, this dude is real deal hurt. That I watched the look on his face. I watched the way he was looking at his hand right now. I was like, yeah, this is an injury. This is something that's going to keep him sidelined. The Sixers then immediately roll out. He's ruled out for the next 2 games. We're going to do further imaging. I do find it slightly offensive that I think there is 0% chance they didn't know this information until 27 minutes before tip-off. Even to the point where Nick Nurse is speaking to the media, talking about, we have no new update on Tyrese Maxey. Hopeful to have something for you guys post-game. But the reality is he's ruled out for at least 3 weeks. If we're going to be optimistic, this could return him with about 6 games left in the regular season. I will also note, from a Tyrese Maxey perspective, he's played 61 games this year. To be eligible for All-NBA, which he would qualify for, assuming he reaches that limit right there, you got to play 4 more games. I think Maxey's going to give every effort to be back. I don't know if that's the best decision long term. I wouldn't expect the pinky to be something that lingers or is that much of a concern from that regard. But it sucks, man. Any way you cut it, this has been sort of the straw that broke the camel's back for the Sixers season. And it feels like the third or fourth time that I've said that phrase.
Left hand or right hand?
Right hand, shooting hand. Yeah.
Yeah, no good. No good. So, Sam, it has to immediately point to Joel Embiid. And this is like the frustration that I'm having. So you tell me if I'm out of line. And Sean, I know you'll have a take on this as well. It's just like, dude, like it's your time, man. You got to get out there. Like, come on. If you're sitting on the bench and yucking it up yesterday in Cleveland, like this team needs you. If you don't start playing, this team is not going to win enough games to make a play-in game, let alone the playoffs. But like some Sixer fans are like, who cares at this point in time? Just like everybody rest and let's ride into next season. I can't look at it like that. It's too long of a season to start talking about next year. If you have an opportunity for postseason play, you get out there and bust your ass. Like, what am I missing with this Joel Embiid injury? Is it just a collective again? And, I'm yelling at the cloud. Like, he's got to get out there and bust it. Let's go.
I'm with you. And something we've heard Joel Embiid talk about and his trainer, Drew Hanlon, talk about is that he's at a point now where he's not willing to play less than around 100%. He's never really going to be 100% ever again when he plays, but he's not going out there playing at 60 or 70%, which is what he did a few years ago, including in that Knicks series a couple of years ago, last time the Sixers were in the playoffs. So he's not 50. He did on a bum knee at 60, 70%. Embiid's that good where he's so valuable, even at 70% of his best self. And I understand that. Like, he's dealt with so many injuries. He wants to prolong his career. So I can get why he's not willing to go out there at a 70% version of himself. But now, when you're the one who says constantly that you want the Sixers team to win, you sacrifice a lot for this organization, this and that, and all you care about is winning, the Sixers need you to win games at this point. They need you badly to win games and to avoid the play-in and just make the playoffs. So even at a 70 to 80% version of himself, he has to be willing to suit up at this point. And the oblique thing is one injury. He's going to be reevaluated after tonight's game, and we'll see how that develops. But there's still the right knee injury that's lingering, and he was still questionable even before this oblique injury, playing some games, sitting some games, constantly managing the right knee. And now if that's the real injury that they're trying to focus on, even if they're using the oblique injury as kind of a distraction point, he has to be willing to play on that right knee at 70%, even 60% if that's what's he at. He just does, because Sixers need him now more than ever. Tyrese Maxey
more than ever.
More minutes in the NBA than anybody else. Think about how much he's sacrificed all year, for how much he's had to play to put this team in the position they're in now. It's now Joel Embiid's turn to try to give Maxey some relief and give him a chance at the playoffs.
And Sean, I know you'll follow up, but it's interesting to go back and the whole Joel Embiid speaking out about the luxury tax and, hey, man, like, this is the time to improve the team, and they didn't do any of that. In fact, they trade Jared McCain. So it's like,
well, that was my thing. I'm glad you brought that up, because when everyone was killing Daryl Morey for that, it was like everyone was like, oh, you're dissing your best player. Joel Embiid gave you this mandate. It's like, you'd expect Daryl Morey to listen to Joel Embiid, the guy who can't play even half of a season for the last 3 years now. Why would Daryl Morey be listening to Joel Embiid's mandate about improving this team?
Well, the answer to that is because he's your franchise player and your best player. So there's
he was right. And he was right.
Franchise player for how long?
The past decade, past 12 years.
The past decade, but you're looking at the future when you look at the trade deadline.
Sure. I'm not saying like you need to do whatever Joel Embiid says. I do think it was a direct middle finger to the dudes for that to be the actions right after the fact. If Joel's going to grandstand, and for what it's worth, I've never seen Joel have a quote like that. I can't think of one time in his career we had anything remotely fiddling with the front office in terms of, I want this player, go out and get there. Maybe you can squint and talk about the PJ Tucker quote, but that was more of an example than a direction of that player whatsoever. But my point being, when Joel talks, you should listen. That was him speaking up sort of out of character for what has been from him. So I hear you on things. You shouldn't make decisions just based on what he thinks or what he believes right there. But there should be this like natural respect and this like respect between each other. So I thought it came off as a middle finger. I think Joel thought it came off as a middle finger. And regardless of how you cut it, it was a bad trade, man. Look at what Jared McCain was in the closing lineup for the Oklahoma City Thunder as they beat the Denver Nuggets last night. This dude has been off the charts good since he got to Oklahoma City, and you're telling me you, Nick Nurse, you, Daryl Morey, are going to say there's not minutes on this Philadelphia 76ers team who just signed Cam Payne from Serbia and he's scoring 32 points off the bench? You're telling me there's no minutes for Jared McCain, and on the defending champions, you can find a role for him right away. So yes, I do think he should have listened to Joel Embiid there.
Yeah, that's my point too. Is like, wait, Joel Embiid was right. It's just tough. It's just really
Joel Embiid
tough.
was also saying at the time, it wasn't just about the McCain trade. It was before that. It was he wanted them to go out and get pieces and add to this team. I'm not sure there's anything out there. And the McCain thing is one thing, but I'm not sure there's anything out there to really add to this team to move the needle from play-in team or 6 seed, whatever you want to call it, to contender.
We had wasn't it the most moves made at a trade deadline in NBA history? Do
Most
something,
trades,
Sam.
Most trades and most players
getting an
NBA
eighth
history.
player on your team isn't going to move the needle.
Dude, how many times have we seen Maxey and VJ play 40 minutes since the trade deadline?
The time. Yeah,
Come
all
on.
the time.
Do something with the stick. That's me with the stick.
But that's my point. Is that yes, you don't want them. You want guard depth, and depth will help in regular season games. It's not going to move you from a playoff team to a contender. There's no move out there. The McCain thing is a whole different issue because that is more Nick Nurse than anybody else, and his inability to insert him into the lineup because he didn't like him as a player, whatever it was, didn't think he could defend. That's on Nick Nurse, that he couldn't find a role for him more than anything.
No, you're right. The horses that are in the stable are the only way that the Sixers are going to have success. That's it. And it's Joel Embiid. I am now going Paul George's biggest fan on the show with John. Like, I hate it, but like the reality is he played well this year. He definitely would. And I've talked to you multiple times, guys, already about this, that I feel like the Sixers would have pulled at least 1 or 2 games out if they had Paul George out there, if not more. Would he stay healthy? I don't know. I feel like he would have. I think everything was moving that direction where it's finally he wouldn't be snake bitten, but then he gets suspended due to whatever it is. And we still don't know what the hell it was. I think people are rumored to say ketamine, allegedly. It treats mental issues. It is out there, and that's what he said. Mental health. Didn't he say that was the reason? Yeah. Whatever. All right. I mean, I got 10 games left. We'll get Paul George left.
By the way, Bam Adebayo he has 81.
He's up to 81. I need a ruling here from you fellas because both teams are intentionally fouling right here. Is this a clean 81? Do we give this to Bam?
Intentionally fouling? They're fouling him. I wish we could watch right now. He has 80. They're intentionally fouling him, like sending him to the free throw line?
No. I'm saying the Heat are fouling the Wizards intentionally to give Bam more possessions. What's the rule?
Dude, that's a fight. You should fight.
I think we have to throw an asterisk next to this one. I can't lie.
I mean, I'd love to. I was really rooting against him to get 80, 81. That is Kobe's mark, and the Wilt 100 is a whole other thing.
He broke it. He's up to 82.
He's 82. That's Bam Adebayo has more points in a basketball game than Kobe Bryant. That's absurd.
I don't think we can give him full credit
here. I thought we were trending more towards this. Never in a million years, I think we would see Bam Adebayo score 83s up to now.
I can't believe if you're fouling, like that's grounds for a fight. Like show some pride.
So
show some pride, man.
I will say when you dive into the history books here, there's a whole lot of critiques for that's how Wilt got his 100. They did the exact same thing.
There's no footage of that, which I don't even count.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Find the radio call.
The record is Kobe's 81 as far as I'm concerned.
No, it's not.
It was just
but it's the same thing. The same thing I'm being critical of Bam right now. That I do think this is Bush League for you to do that, for you to just foul and extend a game as you're up 24 points.
I think you're right. I'm going to have to go review the tape after this, but
I got to watch this one too.
This was not a clean. That is absolute BS.
Well, that's how I'm feeling. I need to watch it. This will be put on ESPN. I think we might see some highlights from this.
Yeah,
so.
I need to watch this one to get a full judgment. My gut instinct right now is that you got to keep an asterisk next to this one. I do have one more fun fact for you guys. Guess who Cam Payne was thrilled to see after scoring his career high tonight in the Sixers tunnel tonight?
I don't have a guess. I got nothing. I was thinking like Russ, but no, he's
Close.
with Sacramento.
Not
What do you
really
got?
close, but Robert Covington was there taking in this game in the tunnel. And the back and forth. Shout out to Sixers Adam at Adam Aronson, who reported this, saying, spotted in the tunnel near the Sixers locker room. Robert Covington, quote, "I needed your aura tonight," Payne just told him. Covington, glad to be back. And Payne said, absolutely. What a Sixers legend, man. Both those guys. I love that.
What happened to this team, man? What happened to the franchise that I love? I know. Robert Covington had some moments, man, but
top 5 in all-time Sixers threes.
He is.
No, you're right about that. Payne's going to be right there before we know it if he continues shooting 8 for 8 every single night. Well, let's follow up. Let's get back to the Sixers and put a bow on this bad boy, and we'll talk a little bit more about what's coming up next. Is that like I hate myself for asking this? Does Payne need more opportunities here? Is this like what you do following up this, or do you just realize that this was lightning in a bottle and you got to go to Detroit and hope and pray that you're able to come away with a victory? Sean, I'll go to you.
It is lightning in a bottle to an extent, but Payne will find this lightning in the bottle a couple times throughout the season. Like, he'll have another one of these before the year ends. There's no doubt in my mind about that. This was an extreme example of it where he was red hot. I don't think he's going to go 8 for 8 from 3 again, but he absolutely will jump in and hit 3 threes in the span of a minute and dance all the way around the court in the process right there. This is who Payne is and has been for the past decade right there. Let him cook for the rest of the season. Why not? We don't have ball handlers. We don't have true guards. All these guys are injured. I have no problem letting Payne cook and see what happens right here. So I'm thrilled for him tonight, and I hope he sticks around in the NBA next year, man. I do hope that's a takeaway from this final stretch of the season is Payne gets a real contract next year because he is an NBA player, man. He deserves that.
Sam?
I also thought he was good defensively tonight too. He did a couple steals, and he
tries.
He has as much energy when he gets a steal and it leads to a fast break point than he does when he hits a 3. It's unbelievable. So yeah, I'm with you where like they need some creation without Tyrese Maxey. Where's that creation going to come from? It's got to be VG Edgecombe, who's better at attacking closeouts off against the defense already in rotation than he is actually creating himself. But you're going to see him have more of a creating role moving forward without Tyrese Maxey. But that's also going to come from Quentin Grimes. It's going to come from Payne. These guys are going to have bigger roles. Do I think Payne's ever going to shoot 8 for 8 in a basketball game again? Absolutely not. Especially, he's not going to be playing a team as bad as the Grizzlies. Maybe the Nets on Saturday, actually. But other than that, there's not going to be a lot of teams out there who are putting G League rosters out there like the Grizzlies are. But you're still going to, these are the guys you have to rely on. So it was encouraging to see what they did just from a pure creation, initiating the offense standpoint tonight.
All right. So Sixers back at it, and we'll find out more about Joel Embiid. He's got to make it back. He has to, because if not, I could see one win out of the next 4 games, and we can continue to take it down even after that. But that there's no use in doing that exercise because Joel Embiid will be back. He is going to return to the floor. And if he does, that changes everything. It has to. So, I know I made the joke last night about like he'll be back for the Kings game, which is Thursday of next week, immediately following the Nuggets. And then you get yourself a little bit of a breather going Kings and then Jazz and then Thunder at home with Bulls and then Hornets, a couple winnable games. I don't know. And then, the Bulls game, they get Paul George back.
Yeah. And I'll say we got lost in this point on Bam Adebayo conversation earlier. What's so maddening about the timing of this Maxey thing is you could start to talk yourself into, okay, Paul George comes back with 10 games remaining. You get Maxey back. You get Embiid back. Can we finish this regular season on a strong push and propel into the postseason? That's out the window now. But the best case scenario is you get Maxey back for maybe the final 6, and maybe you can earn that All-NBA. It just is one thing leads to another. It gets worse and worse, and we're doing this for the 2nd consecutive season of hitting rock bottom for like the 5th time in a year.
Propel into the postseason. That's a good one.
I mean,
I think you were the only one talking yourself into that.
Dude, I have people fighting in my comments right now about how they can absolutely beat the Pistons in the first round.
Win over the Grizzlies.
No.
Actually, I was talking to someone earlier who was saying that same thing. I'm just like, do you know anything about Sixers basketball for the last decade?
No. The issue is they don't know anything about the Detroit Pistons. That's the issue.
That's correct.
Come on, man. And
And like, I get it from the talent. If they're all healthy, which is the biggest if you could throw out there. But if that starting five is healthy with VG Edgecombe and Maxey and Oubre and Paul George and Joel Embiid, it's a way more talented starting five than the Pistons. So I could get why someone would talk themselves into it. But we've all watched basketball for a long time now. You need reps, you need chemistry, you need the toughness. There's so much more that matters, especially in a playoff series, that the Sixers just don't have and would be way far behind the Pistons in all those categories.
Yeah, look, as I pull up the schedule, this is what it's all about right here, right now. It's about these next 5 games. Excuse me. You go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I lied to you. It's about these next 7 games. You have to find a way to win a couple of these games. Now, there are games that are winnable. Like I said, Nets at home, Trailblazers are at home. That's a winnable game. The Kings on the road, that's a winnable game. The Jazz, that's a winnable game. And then you get, not including the Bulls. So that's 4 winnable games out of the 7. I'll take 3. 3 and 4. If you go 3 and 4, you have life. You have life. Because then you get Paul George back with VJ. Now you're add an extra body. Maybe JoJo returns in that time. Who knows? But Paul George added to the mix at least adds something different to this team. And you could go, okay, here's a guy that can at least score 20. Here's a guy that at least can defend. Here's somebody that's not afraid to take the final shot. Not to say that VJ is, but that's a big ask for a rookie, even though he has stepped up and knocked it down before, including 2 times in the Rising Star game. I'm just saying, that's where I'm at. Paul George, these next 7 games, extremely important. Agree or disagree, Sean?
Yeah, absolutely agreed. Like, just honestly, any substance of like real deal NBA quality talent, they need every bit of that they can get. And you're right to the point, Brace, that Paul George was giving this team good minutes for the large bulk of the season, that it was encouraging me to see him actually find his role, find his stride, that yes, he might not be the max contract guy that you think in theory that's going to pop off for 40 points on any given night. But he was playing his role and elevating the Sixers team in a major way. And I do think he can step right back into that. So I'm with you that he can be a major difference maker on the Sixers team. And this isn't the most competitive schedule. So if they can get through that stretch, maybe. But it does feel pretty bleak right now. I won't lie to you.
They're asking Bam right now, how does it feel? Wilt, Kobe, Bam.
No, Wilt, Bam, Kobe.
Whatever. It's ridiculous.
I gotta go watch the end of this.
Same.
Like I can't believe you passed
ridiculous.
I need to make an official ruling.
There's no way it was an ethical 83.
No, it's definitely not an ethical 83. All right. Well, we're gonna find out more about Joel Embiid tomorrow. Is that what we're gonna do, or is that gonna be a Thursday deal versus the Pistons?
And then Thursday. Friday, and then if I'll say this: if it's bad news, we'll hear it about a half hour before tip against the Pistons. If it's good news, we'll hear it in the morning tomorrow.
Chances Joel Embiid plays versus the Pistons?
I think 0. I think he's already ruled out for that one. I believe.
Oh,
I believe that would be game 4, right? Since
they said he's going to be reevaluated after 3.
Okay.
I think he's going to return Saturday against the Nets. You play him 25 minutes against a terrible team. Yeah. I think he'll return Saturday against the Nets.
We've seen this story before.
We have.
And hey, look, you get back-to-back games. You go Saturday and Sunday.
And then you'll sit out a Denver game.
Oh, my bad. Yo, 20. St. Patrick's Day on Saturday, so I won't be available. Sorry, guys.
I thought you were saying Joel Embiid was going to be available.
No, yeah. I'm just thinking about that. Yeah, I'm cooked on that one, so you don't want to see me on the post game with that one. All right.
It's wife's birthday, kid's birthday, St. Patrick's Day, then anniversary.
Yes, exactly, in that order. All right. Good job, boys. Anything else to put a bow on this one here, Sean Menard?
Nah, I'll leave it at that. It's nice to get one in the win column there. Shout out to Campaign for giving a little passion, giving a little bit of positive basketball that we did see right there. I like the spirit from the team. And even last night, I know it was a blowout loss, but I do think the effort level has been better these past 2 nights. So I guess we can hang our hat on that. We'll see what the rest of the season has in store. I do think everyone within the walls of that organization should be looking in the mirror and saying, I'm probably performing for my job for this final stretch. So everyone should approach it with that mindset.
Sam?
Quick standings update. I guess I'll leave every show on this one because it's going to matter till the end of the season. Heat are now in 6th place. Magic are in 10th place. Sixers are in 8th place. They trail the Magic by a game. They now trail the Heat Heat by a game and a half, and the Hawks are in 12th place, and they're only trailing the Sixers by a game too. So it's going to be a really tight race between those 4 teams over the next few weeks.
Yeah, and Atlanta's won 7 straight with the victory over the Dallas Mavericks today. Oh, by the way, a great one going on right now, Boston and San Antonio. That's going to get a screen. I'm going to continue watching Santa Clara and Gonzaga here. That's going to have a screen, so a lot to tune into right here, right now at 10 p.m. on the East Coast. For Sam Ostry from The Score, Sean Bernard from Cross and Broad and DK Network, I'm Sean Brace. I'll talk to you tomorrow at 10 a.m. on 97.5 The Fanatic. Everybody enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll see you on Thursday night. Go Sixers.